It's me, Renee. I'm back. And yeah, I have not been here for a few weeks now. First, I got a cold, so I've been some sprints, but I haven't done videos because, yeah, had a bad throat, bad voice. Wasn't really up to doing videos. And then Easter came, and then here we are. But yeah, I'm back again. And yeah, I've done a slightly different setup today because I've actually done a bit of redecorating. Yeah, redecorating in my apartment. So now there's a table where it didn't used to be. So yeah, so you'll see a bit of a different layout. That's fun, isn't it? Maybe I don't know. So yeah, as you can see from the title, this is. I was about to say last, not the last, but it's part of the series I'm doing. So this is this video is all about book series where I just have one book left and then I finish the series. I thought about maybe doing a video on book series I want to start but haven't. That probably will be a long video because there are lot of series out there and I love them. I want to read. So I'm not sure if I want to do that. But I suppose with that, it's not really going to be like I'm going. I could probably just mention like some titles. Maybe say a few words about them. Maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do that. But yeah. Anyway, you have this video. Sorry. First, anyway. Sorry. So let's get to these books. First, we have the Not Your series. So the first three are out. Not Your Sidekick, Not Your Villain, and Not Your Backup. And the last book, Not Your Hero, I think it was supposed to be out like 2 years ago, at least last year, I think, because it's kind of been on the list on Goodreads. So Goodreads is not always reliable. But yeah, there's supposed to be a fourth book coming out, and if I'm not mistaken, because sometimes I feel like the last book is out and you just don't really hear about it coming out. But I believe it's not out as of yet. But we know the title, it's Not Your Hero, so kind of within the within the style of the rest of the books. I very much enjoy this, and yeah, very much anticipating this last book. And then we have the third in Las Leonas. The first being A Caribbean Heiress in Paris. The second being I'm blanking out on that. A scandal. Iris makes a scandal in Paris, something like that. I have to admit, I very much enjoyed the first book. The second book, I did not enjoy that much, but I do still want to read the last book, which is coming out this fall. It has a cover. It also has a title, but it's just escaping my mind at the moment. I'll write the title of it in the description, so you'll have it there. Well, I suppose you could always use Google it and just like Google Las Lonas book tree, and then you'll have it. But yeah, it's all about historical romances set during the Paris World Fair in the 1880s. So yeah, it's kind of that style. Then we have the Penarial, the Warrior Princess of Penarial Academy, which is the third and last in the Penarial trilogy. This is a middle grade trilogy all about kind of taking tropes on their heads and all about fairy tales and witches and dragons and yeah, kind of explores those kinds of roles. And you have some boys who want to become princesses. You have some princesses who want to become witches and those kinds of dealio. As well as it's kind of like the School for Good and Evil just came out like 10 years before. Well, no, 5 years before this first book. Well, this is the last book, but yeah, the first book came out in 2012, I believe. So yeah, I found the first one in the fall in the library, and then I got the two other ones more recently because yeah, this world very much is my jam. I do have to admit, here it's one of those ways rules, one of those times when the second book didn't really live up to it. The first book I loved very much. Second book, eh. So this third book, yeah, I'm very curious on how how it will wrap everything up and how it will be. But yeah, I do want to read it, of course. Sorry. Then we have The Sorcerer's Secret, this being the third and the Gods of Manhattan series. Third and final because it's trilogy. I read the first 2 years ago now. I have the second book, and here's again one of these ways where the first book I got from the library, so I don't own it. But yeah, you guys, do you own every book that you have read? I suppose no books you just like. Do you read all the books, buy all the books that you love? Because there's some books that I have that I've read from the library that I don't own. Like maybe should I buy them, or maybe it's I suppose it's up to me. Yeah, digression over. But yeah, this is all about it's a middle grade trilogy, all about historical people becoming gods. So it's kind of like Percy Jackson, but just with the historical people instead of mythology. But it's kind of the same style. It's funny. You have family secrets, whatnot. You also have yeah, you have chapter titles, and yeah, very much enjoying to looking forward to catching up on this last book. I had hoped to like read it in March because I'm in March, and then yeah, there's a lot of middle grade books out there. You can't read them all in 1 month. I suppose you can read a lot of them, but or all of them. So yeah, yes. Then we have Margaret Murch for the Win. This being the second in this duology. The first one being Margaret Murch Takes It Down. And yeah, this has been kind of described as Volkamage for the modern teen. And I would say, yeah, it's very true because yeah, it's a teen who's an outcast, but who's also a private investigator. Well, not private investigator. I suppose she's kind of like she investigates technological crimes in a way. In a way, it's kind of how I would say it's not far off. And the second book is all about politics. So the first one was about like slut shaming and high school. This is about politics. I believe it's about Senate race or like Senate politics. And yeah, so I think I'm a very good year to read it this year because this year has a lot of what's the word again? Elections. Like most prominently the one in US, but like there's elections a lot of places. There's elections in UK. There was just election in Pakistan. Yeah, there was an election in Russia. So yeah, good election book to read. But also just yeah, looking forward to this one because the first one, honestly, one of my all time favorite books because yeah, it was just so perfect. Then we have Dragon Blood Ring by Amparo Ortiz. This is the second in this duology. What else is the second? I mean, you can just say duology. And I don't really have to really say the third in that trilogy because all these books are last in the series. Anywho, me being silly. Uh, this is kind of Hunger Games, but like with dragons, because it's a world where you have dragons and they fight. And the first book, like because the first book is kind of very much like uh, um, championship or like a game with like dragons, and so it's kind of feels a bit like the world. Yeah, it's kind of like Olympics or like World Championship, but like with put in dragons instead of footballs. And honestly, I don't really like sports at all. Like I like sports on level like I like Simone Biles and I like and I'm like yeah, but like I like those female sports people like oh cool feminism. Like sports in and of itself is like I don't care at all. Like I suppose yeah. Also I like she's the man. I suppose it's kind of more for like the feminist aspect of it. Also the funny aspect of it. But sport in and of itself, no. But I suppose, as a lot of people, give me dragons and I will read it. And I read the first book, which I loved very much, even though, yeah, it kind of had like it kind of felt like reading about like a match between two football teams, but instead have like dragons. So I was surprised I liked it that much. But I suppose when you have dragons, how can you not like it? Can you not like that? I don't think you can. So yeah. So I got this one last year. I have not read it yet. It's on this video, so yeah. But yeah, excited to get to it. Sorry. And then we have uh, West, which is a companion put to East. So this first book is East, and then a companion book came out. I want to say a few years ago now. Yeah, a few years ago. So this book came out in like 20. I want to say 2005. Yeah, 2005. And then companion book came out in like 2012. So I remember. I think like something like that. This is kind of interesting because this is fairy tale retelling. So like, I believe the second book is about the same people. So that's kind of interesting how that works. But I suppose, I mean, it's a companion book, so I don't feel like you have to read the first book. But I very much enjoy this first book, so yeah, curious to get the second book. But I suppose, can you have companion series in like videos like this? Because it's not like you have to read them both. Well, including them in other videos like this, so yeah. Then we have the second book in the Samantha Knox series by Jenny Elder Moak. This is kind of like Indiana Jones, but with a dual protagonist. Yeah, I very much enjoyed the first book. I did not absolutely love it, but I did very much enjoy it. And yeah, the second book is out in the world. I haven't bought it yet or read it. Well, of course, it's on this list. And excited to get to it. Sorry. And then we have Holiday Heroine by Sarah Kuhn. This is the last in this series, so I suppose never say never. I suppose you could say with all this, never say never, because first originally this was a trilogy, and then suddenly, and then like a few months later, you had like the second trilogy, so it's kind of like two trilogies in one. And yeah, this is all about superheroes and Asian Americans being superheroes, and it's in that it kind of feels a bit like a Marvel book because it's kind of heartfelt and cheesy in a way, but like in a nice way, but with like just more or less female main characters. This is set during Christmas, so I had planned to read it last December. Didn't happen, so might read it. Well, want to read it this December because you don't have to read it in December because it's set during Christmas. But it's kind of like a fun Christmas read, like Christmas and superheroes. Kind of fun to do them both together. So yeah, I do plan to read it this year, and yeah. So I'm sad that it's over, but yeah. And then we have. I said that I wouldn't do this with this book this time, but I did it again. Yeah, we have The Cursed Rose by Leslie Wedder. So this, I mean, it is one of my all-time favorite trilogies. I love this trilogy so much. First two books, I've read about them all the time. They're so good. But each of those two, like I start them in like January, February. I read a chapter then, and then I don't really read much in them. And then in June or like July, I read like 80% of the book. Like for some reason, I always drag with these books, which I don't really know why. I suppose in a way, maybe you could say it's because beginnings are slow, but I like slow. But I suppose in a way because it's a fantasy series, and it's not something I'm like out of words again. It's not urban fantasy. It's a whole different world. It takes from like known fairy tales, but it is like a kind of intrigue, like big kind of world. So it's supposed kind of takes a bit, at least for me, to like get into the world. Even though this is the third book, so I'm like I've read two other books in this world. But yeah, I do very much. I suppose also with the third book in trilogies that you love, it's kind of more allowed to not rush through them because you don't really want the books to end. Though I have heard some people who don't read the last book in series because they don't want the book to end. I'm like, yeah, but like, do you not want to know what happens. And like, yeah, I suppose I could see both sides, but at the same time, like, when you finish the book, you'll have enjoyed the book, but then you can always just read the whole series again. So it's not like the book is gonna be gone because you. I suppose if you don't reread, that's something else. But like, why would you not reread? That's weird. I feel like that's kind of weird. But people do what people do. But yeah. So yeah, I have started this book. Well, I'm like, yeah. I've read the prologue and like a few more pages, so I'm not read a lot of it, but I've read a bit in it, and yeah, and yeah, I suppose I have some books that I don't own, but that I want to finish. So, sorry. So the last Poirot book, I think it's called Poirot's Last Case, or like the Last Case of Poirot, something like that. I have not done that one. I read all of Miss Marple books, but I have not read all the Poirot books, and yeah, I want to finish that one. I was gonna be a bit sad, but it was always sad when you finish books series anyway. But yeah, I have not finished that one. And then we have the Strange World Travel Agency by L.D. Lapinski. I've read the first two books and I like them both, but they're not like books that I think about all the time. I feel like honestly, I kind of feel like those are kind of that series is kind of overhyped. I feel like if people talk about it, it's like this book is so cool. I'm like, it's not that cool. But I do enjoy it, and I do want to finish it. So yeah. And then we also have Reluctant Royals by Alyssa Cole. I believe she teased recently that she's. I mean, because she's so far she's done two. Oh, sorry, not Reluctant Royals. Runaway Royals. Yeah, Runaway Royals. Like so far she usually does trilogies, and she has a plan for like a third book in that series, but it just kind of hasn't been on it has been on wait for so far as of right now. So yeah, me saying that I'm fine and then I'm coughing all the time in this video. I thought it was fine, but yeah. And yeah, that is the book. I have just one book to finish the series, and yeah, if you have read any of this series, you want gush with me about them, you do that. If you disagree and you feel like one of the series is like, why do you like this? You can also comment that, but of course, be nice. Don't say like you're an idiot for liking the series. You can say I did not like this and this and this from this book. What nice that you do. You can do that. Or you could just leave a book emoji if you want to. Just I'm sure that you've seen this video. And yeah, if you want to see a video with me talking about book series I want to start, that not that book series that like not that have book series I already started, but like that I want to start. I've not read any of the books from. That could be a long video, but if you want to see that, please tell me down below. And yeah, bye.